12 million a day on sales and marketing. What do you also, how have you diversified?
Yeah, our story, we are a small company, you know. We start with $3,000 only, you know. We don't have in person, we don't have credit card, credit from banks, and we have to out of financial. We don't have muscle, economic muscle, but our muscle is innovation, and open new marketing in different countries. For us, our map is, for example, Iran, Israel, Saudi Arabia, different countries is closing for the big companies, for example, Expedia or Prive. Yeah.
So you take a market that maybe Expedia Booking won't venture into for certain reasons. Maybe there's not enough scale in those markets for them, and for you, there's opportunity?
It's very big opportunity. Example, Iran. Iran is this year is the third market for us. But I think in 2 years it's number one for us, because impossible you can enter Expedia or Prive, and I am the leader now for the moment in this market.
And being, you know, a private company, you can make those decisions.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Alex?
Actually, of course, we spend money in marketing here, but not the same way as Fabio, for instance, because we're not buying traffic, but we aim to buy members. So we have traffic once we have members engaged, because when you just buy members, or they go to a landing page and it does not provide you with traffic. So you can have a huge database, you know, but no traffic. So all the point is making sure that you get members, they understand your promise, and that they understand what you do. And once you send them either a newsletter or Facebook or whatever, they come on the website and then they give you traffic. Because the website is closed as well, so this means that it's not just buying traffic from Google, but definitely having traffic and then spending money in marketing is still an issue, of course.
Right, so your business model is spending some money on getting the customer to come to you, but then your real concentration, which is probably more difficult for the major OTAs, is to get that customer to keep coming back. Or do you have more of a membership? And is your, like, how often is your average customer return to the site, say, in a year?
In a year, return to the site, giving us visits.
And they could actually take a trip.
Take a trip, I think that this is probably 30% of repeat buying, so in this range. But I think that this is not the point, is not only having buyers, of course this is one of the points, but the point as well is having people visiting the website almost every week, and then keeping you in mind by the day they want to spend money for the vacation, then they will visit and give you not only visit but some money. So the point is really around all this engagement, because at the very beginning when we started, one of the beauty of the system was that this is Google free model. So then even if you stop spending marketing, then with your database you can still generate traffic and business. So it won't last forever, but so that's very important. And I think that this is one of the key of the model, where probably we have competitions not always understanding this, and then they buy traffic and they buy again the same traffic, because they just buy members, but they just can give a visit and then never be back.
Fabio?
I think, I mean, we are, let's say, a more traditional OTAs. We are competing also face-to-face. But what we are trying to do is to move the company to be from being pure transactional, that was like 3 years ago. Now we want to be, and we are much more inspirational company with a lot of content. And so we have today about 30% of our revenue doesn't come from transaction, come from media and meta activity. And this really is producing content. We bought one company that is where are you now? That's a travel social network. We are doing this year a big agreement with Spotify to give the right music for the people. So we are investing a lot in the content, hoping that the content give us the people. And so I think we used to invest probably when we started 90% of our budget in Google. Now Google we spend less than 30%. And so we think that try to have, if you look, the bigger companies, Expedia, Booking are really a machine to book. I think Airbnb is a totally different model, and we look a lot at that, and it's much more our model just to inspire people when they go. Also, the way you book, we have a new way to choose vacation that is inspiration based, and this is an alternative way to do that. And fortunately, at the moment, the big companies are not really focused a lot on that.
So you mentioned content. What do you mention? Innovation. Are you tech companies? Are you content companies? OTAs?
I think we are all of that. Yeah. So
if you had to choose one.
If I had to choose one, I would then choose we are data companies. At least data companies. So at least going forward, you know, for example, our OTA knows where does the customer want to go, and then we could obviously with our tour operator produce exactly what is needed. Yeah. If you look at our flight business, we use data knowledge to come to the right pricing models, because the flight OTA works behind the meta, and you know, where do you put your pricing plays a very important role, and the more data you have, the better you are in the end. I mean, they are sometimes even sell the tickets lower than they buy it. They can only do that if they have data that's proving that they can upsell in other areas. So that's basically how that works.
Amuda, you talk about innovation. What are you thinking about when you say that?
Innovation, because I am from Africa. I don't have money. For us, it's innovation. It's a key for every country. It's service, content, or another good service, good product is normal for any company. You have to invent. For example, we're working now for chatbot, for reservation, and we even last week for Messenger and WhatsApp, in English and in 3 languages, only for searching. And the next month for booking, and in 6 months or 7 months for customer service, only for information. It's very hard, but I think is the way now is with the chat. Now all the people think for box of search again, but a lot of time, and they have to that. This is a box, and if they, I will kill, I'm going to kill it in the next months for transformation our on-site web page from box to chat. A little. I think the way go from chat.
Others do chat box, chat messaging.
We have started to test, yes.
For search, for booking,
for customer care.
Customer care.
So we're doing some testing as well for booking as well.
Lorraine, we have a question from the audience.
I have another question. Is of some of the Bitcoins.
Yes, you work in the Bitcoin.
We are the first company that accept Bitcoins, 4 years ago.
4 years ago?
No.
Anyone else here accept Bitcoin?
No, not yet.
Is there a reason
Which
for
share
that?
of your sales are done with Bitcoin?
No, look, we have 1 million of new customer for different countries. Freaky of Bitcoins. We need to buy, sell Bitcoins. It's different for us. It's innovation.
Lorraine, we have a question from the audience.
Kevin.
Hi, Kevin May, tnews.com. I don't know if you guys saw the Battleground this morning. There was a startup there called Loco, and its proposition was to create, I'm reading from here, an alliance of regional OTAs. It's essentially a portal where you guys would feed into it. I just wondered if any of you had an opinion on that, whether it would be something that you would consider.
If I have to tell my view, I understand this morning about that, but I see more a concentration of local OTA. So I think there is a trend of concentration in a consolidation, let's say, in the sector, and I think they will do a consolidation, because at the end, we have the example of the acquisition we did in last minute. In 2 years, we saved 40 million. So it's clear that if if you have different OTA, if you use one platform, at the end you save a lot of cost. So more than alliance, I think the consolidation is something that will be
you're saying buy the companies don't. This is more of a platform for companies that can still remain independent or privately owned, but somehow be networked together.
But I would say these companies, I mean, the OTAs everywhere are in competition, so it's difficult to really think about how they could collaborate. Yeah? And I agree to what Fabio said. I think we will see a lot more consolidation in the European market. You know, we have grown a lot through acquiring companies, and we now do about 2.5 billion of transaction volume. And I'm sure we will see more of that. And then the question is how much room is for this kind of collaboration.
So we're going to see more consolidation. I think do we all agree?
Yeah.
We're going to see more consolidation, Amuda? More consolidation? I would imagine, Alex and Amuda, that you also get offers. Is an interest?
Yes, of course, of our offers, at least signs of interest. Of
But
course.
nothing enticing?
And then for now, I think that we're still having a healthy business. We're still operating this business in a very good, strong execution to our vision. And then I think one of the success of Voyage Prive is as well that we probably are still a privately owned company, and then we all have a background from travel, and then if I would define ourselves, I think that we would be travel agents and probably a bit more tour operators than only a tech company. For sure, there's tech marketing supporting the business, but I think that in this specific model, the knowledge and product is really key. And I think that we all have background from travel, and then we keep the control of the strategy of the company, the decision of the company, and this is probably one of the reasons why we still grow, and for now we won't be comfortable having some other people, and maybe one day we'll need to, but for now this is not the case.
Oh, good for now.
But this consolidation, I agree with what Fabio was saying. I think that consolidation will increase for sure, and there will be probably opportunities here.
Are there a lot more, would you say, local companies, local OTAs out there in Europe that need to be consolidated?
Yes, especially as Jörg was saying, if you look especially in the package business, it's very local business. I mean, we are probably the largest after Expedia, being in all the country, but our competitor, then if you go to Germany, our competitor is a Unister Troco. If you go to France, you have Promo Vacances. If you have a UK, you have on the beach. So in each country, you have a different player. It's only in one country. Because vacation is really a local bit. And also we are everywhere because of acquisition. Because otherwise, why flight? You can be in 46 countries, or we are in 20 or whatever with exactly the same product. The package is different.
But what's changed? Because a lot of those players have been around for a while. So what's changed this year? Why do we think, is it this pressure, is there more pressure to consolidate?
I think there was always a pressure of, if you look, there is, I think there is two reasons of consolidation. First, there is a lot of opportunity, because when you scale, you save cost. And second, that is even more important, most of the company are owned by financial investors. Financial investors, by definition, they have to sell. So at the end, this brings to consolidation. So this guy, if they own the company, they don't want to sell. But all the rest, the other people, they are for sale. So at the end...
So if you mentioned packages, and just a what-if scenario, if you were, you were going to purchase a type of company, an OTA, what would you look for? What characteristics?
No, we look for a country where we are less present, so like Germany, Nordics, places like that, and we look like a new kind of project, like flash sales or different. Because at the end, we are, let's say, if we say we are audience-centric company, tech audience, let's say this is our, so we know how to interact with the people, and we think the asset we have is the 50 million unique users per month. This is the only asset we have, and how to manage that audience. And then to that audience, you have to give the right relevant products. And so at the end, having other kind of products, new products, new way to sell is what we are interested in.
If I can add to that, so I really believe in online travel, size matters, right? So that's a matter of fact. And if you consolidate and you put two similar companies in the same market together, of course you gain a lot of synergies. So that is getting an additional value. So I think that all makes sense.
We're going to have a session later just all about that.
Exactly. And then, you know, what I want to say is, but we can do it and we can stay local champions. There are so many examples. I mean, Google is putting a lot of pressure on us, and they are coming even deeper into our business models every year. But there are so many examples of local champions that survive. I mean, when Google implemented hotel reviews, for example, I've been CEO at Holiday Check. Yeah, we've been really afraid of, you know, what's happening. TripAdvisor and Holiday Check might be dead, and you know the opposite happens. I mean, Holiday Check, for example, is a local champion in the German-speaking markets, and it will stay like that. So TripAdvisor didn't come closer. Google didn't succeed. Same happens to Google Hotel Search, Google Flights. I mean, look, we have Trivago, we have Kayak, we have Skyscanner, and they're all very successful, and they are even becoming more successful every year, despite of Google. So there is a way, and there is hope even against the big global bank.
I have a feeling this conversation is to be continued.
Lorraine, we have a question from the audience.
Hi, my name is Uli Kastner. I see a lot about things that you talk about travel and everything, but what I haven't heard today, and all the other discussions as well, is the meeting and MICE area. We know that meeting represents in Germany itself 72 billion euros of volume. Is this something you guys, because we talk a lot about niche, right? You're all active in certain niches, package travel, and blah, blah, blah. So who of you is